It was a Monday morning and Paul was tired. He'd worked all weekend and felt uninspired to get out of bed and to move his feet, working he must with a client to meet. Little did he know, a monster lay in wait underneath his bed full of grumpy hate. The grumpy critter hated people and days, especially Mondays in so many ways. The monster had a scheme to ruin Paul's day and cause chaos in every possible way. It slithered out of hiding space with glee and grabbed the clock from Paul's bedside with its teeth. It tugged and pulled and pressed the keys and chomped upon the cable with ease. Then, with a mighty heave and throw, it sent the clock crashing down below.
Ha ha ha, your day is ruined,
the monster cackled as it slithered away, feeling quite tickled. But Paul was sound asleep, unaware of the monster's mischief beyond compare. An hour later, Paul awoke with a fright. He checked his clock, and it was way past right. He rushed to the shower and got all clean, not knowing the grumpy critter's mischievous scheme. The grumpy creature then let out a muffled chuckle without a doubt.
Looks like I got him good,
the monster said, as it stretched its arms and legs from underneath the bed. But Paul wasn't going to let a little monster ruin his day. He said, "Hey, you! Come out and face me if you may." The monster was startled, but it crawled out from under the bed and said,
"What do you want? Can't you see I'm busy instead?"
"Busy ruining my day, I suppose," Paul said with a grin, "but I'm not going to let you win." The monster laughed.
Hey, you think you can beat me? I'm the grumpiest monster you ever see.
But Paul was determined to face the beast, to get through his day he'd never cease. After the shower, dressed with care, Paul searched for keys, phone and bag to bear. But the grumpy monster had other plans and hid them all with cunning hands. "Come on, you grumpy thing," Paul yelled in frustration. "I need my keys and phone for my transportation." The monster chuckled.
"Oh, how you humans are weak. Can't handle a little prank. You're so meek."
But Paul refused to give up the chase. He couldn't let the monster win this race. Paul searched high and low here and there and found his keys in the fridge, of all places rare. His phone was in the bin, a stinky affair, and his briefcase was in the closet, hidden with flair. "Ah, got you, you grumpy brute," Paul exclaimed with pride. "I won't let you ruin my day. I'll take it in stride." The monster smiled.
"Well played, my human friend. Perhaps today won't be so grim in the end."
With all his things in hand at last, Paul left the house. The time was past. He ran to catch the morning train, but missed it and felt the strain. The grumpy monster watched with glee as Paul ran as late as can be.
"You're too slow,"
the monster taunted.
"I'll make you tardy just as you wanted."
Paul replied, "I'll get there, don't you worry." But the monster said,
"I'll make you scurry."
It followed him with sneaky feet as Paul walked on in the busy street. The monster snickered as Paul looked around. For a ride to work, in haste he found. He hailed a taxi and got inside, but the monster stayed and hid with pride. As they drove through the busy town, the monster played tricks with a wicked frown. It flickered the lights and shook the car and made Paul wish he could go far. "You're quite the troublemaker," Paul said as the monster giggled in its furry bed.
"I'm just having fun,"
the monster replied.
"I'm not trying to make you misguide."
But then, as they reached the destination, Paul realized to his consternation that he couldn't pay the taxi fare, for his wallet was gone, he was unaware. The grumpy monster laughed out loud, for it had taken the wallet, quite proud. It revealed itself with a mischievous grin and said,
"You can't win."
Paul was cross but couldn't stay mad, for the monster was just a little bit bad. The monster appeared with a sly little smile and handed Paul his wallet all the while. He smiled and shook his head in defeat and paid the fare, feeling incomplete. At the end of the day, when work was done, Paul went back home. Having quite a bad run, he saw the monster waiting for him and wondered what kind of trick it could whim. But to his surprise, the monster spoke and apologized for the mischief it broke.
"I'm sorry, Paul, for what I did. I hope you won't stay mad or hit."
Paul thought for a moment, then replied, "It's okay, my friend, let's put it aside." With the monster's promise, he felt relieved and continued on with a heart ungrieved. He went to the supermarket for some food and walked around in a happy mood. But then he noticed, to his surprise, the monster was there with its bulging eyes. "Hey there, my friend. What brings you here?" Paul asked with a smile, without any fear. The monster grinned.
I thought I'd tag along and make your shopping trip a little less strong.
And so they went aisle by aisle, the monster causing mischief with a devious smile. It knocked over cans and switched the signs and made Paul's shopping a test of minds. But Paul didn't mind, for he knew the beast and laughed along with a playful feast. As he headed home with his bags in tow, Paul felt tired and wanted to go to his warm bed and rest his head and dream of things unsaid. But the monster had one more trick up his sleeve, and Paul couldn't believe what he did perceive. It had cooked a meal with its monster claws and set the table with its monster paws. "Wow, you cooked all this? It looks so grand," Paul said with his fork in hand. The monster beamed.
I wanted to thank you for being my friend and seeing me through.
They laughed and ate till the night was done, and the monster said,
It's time for me to run.
Paul smiled and waved. "Until next time," and the monster vanished with a chime. So now the story of Paul and the monster is one of friendship with a little banter. For even grumpy beasts with teeth and fur can be kind and loyal to those they prefer.
Goodbye.